I'm Tim Barkley with Charleston Home Design magazine, and I want to thank you for listening to Talking About a Home show on the radio. Today's radio show is coming to you from Crawl Space Solutions in North Charleston, and we're very proud to have Crawl Space Solutions as one of the sponsors of the Charleston Home Design Show on Daniel Island, coming up April 26th and 27th at Family Circle Stadium on Daniel Island. In the last few weeks, we've been visiting some of the different sponsors of the Charleston Home Design Show on Daniel Island. And now we're talking with David Ahrens with Crawl Space Solutions. How you doing, David?
Doing fine, Tim. Thanks.
Good. David, take a moment and tell everybody about Crawl Space Solutions.
Well, we're a structural engineering and environmental engineering company specializing in mold remediation and energy-efficient solutions for the home. Mm-hmm. We do everything from mold throughout the entire house, as well as I mentioned, energy-efficient solutions, structural repair. The name gives us Crawl Space Solutions. A lot of people just think that's primarily all we do is anything in the crawl space, but we're general contractors as well, so we take care of everything.
Gotcha. So first let's start off. There might be some people out there who don't know what a crawl space is.
Crawl space is the space up underneath the house. Your house down here, there's no houses really built with basements. So typically your two types of houses that would be built are either built on a slab or a crawl space. Mm-hmm. And you would access it, and that's where your plumbing, sometimes your duct work, and things of that sort is going to be. Mm-hmm. Most typically your termite guys are going to go up under there, and for most of our customers, that's the only person that ever goes under the crawl space.
Right. And I'm looking at a photo in your ad in Charleston Home and Design magazine, and it shows the crawl space, and kind of describe what we're looking at right here.
Well, this particular house is a house that we did out in Dunes West, and they had a severe mold and moisture issue. And what we did was we performed what's called a crawl space encapsulation. It's also known as a sealed crawl space or mm-hmm. closed crawl space system. And what we do is we install a very thick membrane that has a very low permeance rating, which means how vapor resistant the moisture barrier is. Mm-hmm. And it's all seamed and sealed. We basically eliminate the whole dirt floor crawl space.
Mm-hmm. What's the process if you don't have a sealed and enclosed crawl space? You just have the dirt or the sand underneath your house. What were the people in Dunes West experiencing?
Well, they had a lot of ground moisture, groundwater that was coming into the crawl space, and that's very typical here. Most of the crawl spaces in this Charleston area, it's very common for them to have mold. It's very few houses that I ever go under that don't have mold. Mm-hmm. Like I said, most people don't go into the crawl space, so they're unaware of that aspect. But a lot of the air that you actually breathe in the home comes from the crawl space.
Mm-hmm. So there was a lot of moisture underneath the house, and that moisture level was getting into their house through the floor. Then
the mold was actually getting into the house. The entire crawl space itself, all the floor joists and subfloor was covered in mold. Mm-hmm. And some wood decay as well. And when you start talking about when the moisture content gets above 20%, mold starts growing. Mm-hmm. And when it gets above 27%, wood decay is active. So your wood is in an active decay. And they had both. Mm-hmm. And so the mold spores actually permeate into the living space in itself, the air that they breathe. So a lot of people with asthma and allergies and things of that sort have breathing difficulties, and they have high levels of mold, but they don't really correlate that a lot of times with mold because they don't see it inside the house, but it's directly up underneath your subfloor, an inch away from where the baby's crawling.
Gotcha. So by putting down, and it kind of looks like you've covered everything in kind of a thick plastic, sheets of plastic.
It is, like I said, it's a very durable. This particular is a 20 mil polyolefin floor liner is what it's made out of. And it's essentially like a pool liner. I guess the best way to try to describe it in layman's terms would be like a pool liner, maybe on steroids. Mm-hmm. It's reinforced so it doesn't rip or tear like a pool liner would. And in doing that, we would actually seal the crawl space vents and install a dehumidifier in there. And it kind of conditions that space. So then we actually, there's no more moisture that gets into the crawl space, and we can actually control what the humidity levels are and how much moisture that we actually allow as far as in the air.
Gotcha. Does that, besides the health benefits of something like that, does that help make the house any more energy efficient?
It absolutely does. There's different studies that show up to 25%. I have testimonials from customers that are a lot higher that we've done projects for, and that that we've gone in and done whole house things and saved them 60% on their energy costs with different options that we have. I hate to actually say a particular number of what it is, so they can go online or go to the Department of Energy's website or North Carolina Advanced Energy, or a couple good sites, and it'll help tell you the type of energy savings that you get. I hate to put a number on it because there's all kinds of things that can affect whether your electric bill is going to be higher or lower.
Well, I mean, I know what it's like when my in-laws have an elevated house and they have a dehumidifier in the area underneath the ground level, and when you walk in there in the summertime, it's nice and cool because you're eliminating all that humidity. So it's got to make it easier to cool a house, I would think, in the summertime.
It absolutely is. And, about 30% of your air conditioner's load is set for pulling the moisture out of the air. So whenever we've actually eliminated the moisture in the air, you're talking about that's 30% right there less that the air conditioner would have to work. Now, I spoke with a customer actually yesterday that we had done, and we did his crawl space a little over about a year and a half ago, and he had mentioned that his last March's his bill last March was $489, and this past March was $205.
Oh, wow.
And it wasn't just the crawl space that we did with that. He also had a gas water heater installed and some other things. But for somebody like that, you're a lot of times you're possibly talking about a year and a half, 2 to 3 years is your break-even point.
So besides the crawl space encapsulation, what if someone discovers they've got some mold in their house? How can crawl space solutions help with that?
Well, I'm a certified mold remediation contractor, certified mold inspector, and indoor air quality consultant. And so that's actually what our main company focuses on is air quality. As an environmental consultant, I do a lot of air quality tests and things of that sort. We would come out and we would assess the situation, see what the air quality is in the house, and find out if they do have mold and where it's coming from and what's the cause of it, and fix it, and then remediate it and get the air quality back to a safe level.
Right. What are some telltale signs that maybe a homeowner might have some bad air quality in their house?
One thing, if they're suffering from any type of allergies or any type of, a lot of times you'll have allergy or flu type symptoms. So if there's anybody in the house that has that, if you have asthma, a lot of the types of mold that we have here really wreak havoc on an asthmatic. So if you have asthma and it seems to be acting up when you're at home, I have some people that will go on vacation for a couple of weeks and they'll feel fine, and then whenever they come back to the house, it starts bothering them again. So that's one way. And then of course, if you have any damp or any kind of musky smells that you're smelling is going to be another way. If you've ever had any water leaks that you knew about, then it's a good idea to at least get it checked out. We do free mold inspections, so for us, it wouldn't cost anything for us to come out and at least tell you, what you have and if you have anything.
An unhealthy house. Well, tell everybody how they can get in touch with Crawl Space Solutions.
You can give us a call at the office, and our telephone number is 843-826-0404. You can reach us on the internet, and our website is charlestoncrawlspace.com. We also have moldcharleston.com is another one of our websites, And so you can reach us on the internet or by telephone, or you might see one of our trucks driving around town. Our numbers are quite large on the back of there, so pretty easy for anybody to spot us.
Okay, great. Well, we have been talking with David Ahrens with Crawl Space Solutions. Thanks so much, David.
Thank you.